you have no option, but by the way, here's your instructions that tell you how to do all this stuff. So
we're doing all the steps, right?
That's right.
Thank you.
After doing as many windows as I did around our house, I don't necessarily need it.
You're getting them by heart now.
That's right.
See if I can get you from the other side.
You just want to make sure you put it in until you feel it get good and snug there.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is, looks like I must have lost the shims that were there. Real quick, we'll just shut it one more time just to make sure everything looks good here. Shutting nice and easy.
Excellent.
Again, if you have a screw that seems to be a little annoying, sometimes putting in a square head will help life a little bit.
And what sizes are you using for those? Do you know? Do they have a certain?
This one I believe it's the number 2 Phillips head.
Okay, just in case we get it mixed up.
That's right, and then the square head is a S2, so it's a number 2 square head.
Just think 2.
Yep, just think 2.
All right.
And so now, what I'm going to do, and actually this ended up taking a whole pack.
Wow. So our one window is taking a whole pack of shims.
Yep. Which they're fairly inexpensive, so that's not too bad.
Not at all.
So, I'm going to put the last shim in, just do one more quick check.
Okay.
Shuts well. So this is the one, actually the reason I had trouble with that is apparently I already put in the one that we had issues with. So.
Oh, you already did? Okay.
So we're good.
Excellent.
So basically, oh, that over tightened, so that's good.
Okay.
If you notice it kind of cinched a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of torqued.
That told me I had it too tight.
Oh.
So I backed off just a hair.
Okay.
So now you're in there.
Excellent.
So I think what we're going to have the caulk open. I'll go ahead and caulk on this front side.
Okay, sure.
As much as I can. What you want to do, start up here.
And so you're caulking right where the vinyl meets the wood, is it?
That's right. You want to get a nice bead in there to make sure that water or nothing else.
And you're aiming for right where they meet.
So actually, now, just want to come back through. And
Would you like a stool?
that would be perfect.
Okay.
So just going around, filling in the gap, putting, you want to put a bead like this all the way around. Now, if you notice the weep holes ended up getting covered up a little bit, you'll want to come back through
Okay.
and uncover those after this dries. So there's nothing fancy about this. You just want to make sure that you have a nice bead.
So there's no openings.
That's right. That's right. So I think actually just going to have enough
Getting to the end of the bucket.
Into the bucket. Let's see if I can make this stretch. Well, next time you go to open up a tube of caulk,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a little short. But there's that short little piece there. If you'll caulk it,
And we'll get the top.
get the top, and you should be good to go.
Awesome.
So now we'll go inside.
Thank you. Okay.
And we got to put in the grate stuff in.
Yeah, this is the foam.
This is the foam. Okay. Now this stuff, you don't want to get this stuff on you.
All right.
It's hard to get off. In fact, what you'll want to do is have you'll need some acetone with this stuff.
It's almost like you need paint thinner to get it off.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, and if you don't end up using a whole can, you'll have to take some acetone and drop down in there. So fingernail polish remover.
There you go. Fingernail polish.
And clean that out real well, and then try to clean the tube out too, because once it dries, it'll be done.
Huh.
So what you want to do is hold this upright, put it about an inch in, and just, you don't want to fill up the surface too much.
I see.
So you kind of just do like that.
You're pretty much giving it one application.
Yes, and you don't have to, as long as you know it's getting in there, it's going to expand.
It will get larger.
Yes. The key with this is just making sure to keep the can upside down.
Oh, okay. So that way
it will work the other way, but it works better this way.
It's gravity feed.
Yep. Now, in this case, if you notice, I can't get it in there.
Okay.
What you want to do is just take your pliers and just kind of flatten it out. Don't worry, it'll still come out.
Huh. So you're kind of directing the spray.
That's right. So now I can fit in there. Like this here. Now for the most part, don't try to clean this up now.
Okay.
Wait for it to dry.
How long does this take to dry?
It'll set up in a couple hours, but I'd let it dry for sure overnight.
Okay.
And once it dries, it'll come off of stuff pretty easily. Right now it's not. It's going to make a mess.
Like if you get a clump of it, how do you chip it off? Do you just chip it off with like a putty knife?
You can break it off with your hands.
Oh, okay.
Now the top here is usually where you're going to have the hardest trouble, just because it's such a small gap.
It's a tight fit there, isn't it?
Yep. So you want to try to, like here, what I'll do is just start there and kind of force it in that top.
Okay.
Now the longer you use the can, the less stuff that's going to come out of it at a time. So this can's almost empty.
You've almost got to that one. Bottom of that.
So there you go, minus putting in the molding.
Wow.
That's pretty much it.
Now these shims, when everything, how do you get, I mean, do you cut this somehow, the shims?
Well,
or?
these shims, what you can do is you can try to score them with that, or I have one of those little oscillating tool deals.
Like an electric device?
Yeah, that you can get it pretty cheap at Harbor Freight.
Okay.
But it's just an oscillating multi-tool that has a wood blade on it. It just goes back and forth, so that blade you can go in there and just cut those off and make them smooth.
You do trim them, you cut them, or utility knife or the tool you mentioned.
You need it smooth with this surface,
Okay.
And then I guess before we put that great stuff in there, we should have put the molding, but I think
Oh yeah, you're going to
this
size
molding
that?
will be good for you guys.
And that's what you use on yours? Yep. Okay.
So that is that's it. And
thank you for the production.
no problem. So hopefully that helps.